Well, as many Australians are celebrating Australia Day, thousands of others are choosing to shun the celebrations and are instead preparing to march through Melbourne streets in the annual Invasion Day rally. Let's now go to our reporter, Cyan Valens there. Cyan, just talk us through what's happening where you are right now.
Good morning, Fazia. Well, as you can hear, it's a really loud sort of rally here today. The formal proceedings have just got underway and those cheers are in support of the most recent speaker. They are calling for a change of the date of Australia Day, which protesters here say is offensive and hurtful to Indigenous people because it marks the start of colonialism and centuries of inequality here in Australia. So there have been lots of speeches, there's been dance, there's been song. One of the speakers said that he first protested this day when he was 18 and he's now 75 years old. So this is a debate that's gone for many years. It's held every year in the lead up to Australia Day, but organisers told us they are still hopeful the date will change. Take a listen to what one of them had to say a little earlier.
I think there's still so much unfinished business in this place that until Australia is really willing to acknowledge the past and, you know, not sit in this very comfortable amnesia about this country and how it's come to be, that we're going to be continually marching on these steps of Parliament. And this movement behind me is only going to continue to grow, as we're seeing here and across the world.
Now, Cyan, organisers have been saying that they're expecting up to 30,000 people at the rally. Are you starting to see those numbers there now?
There is an absolutely enormous crowd here, Fazia. We're on Spring Street in front of State Parliament and you can see that there is standing room only. It is absolutely packed. We actually can't see how far it goes back, so 30,000 sounds absolutely enormous. There are definitely thousands, but it's just too early to estimate numbers at this stage. So there are a lot of formal proceedings to go and we will leave it here because they've just started a minute's silence.
Thousands are gathering to mark January 26 at the annual Invasion Day rally. The crowds will march through the city and end with a community festival. Our reporter Isabella Higgins joins us now. So Isabella, what's going on there?
Hi David, well we're right in the middle of things at the moment. This is a really significant event to many Indigenous people. As you can see behind me, huge crowds gathered around that purple truck stage. There's been a number of speakers who've come up and I've got to say they've had a really warm reception from the crowd. They're talking about a number of issues that are important to the First Nations community, black deaths in custody, missing and murdered Aboriginal women, land rights, the push for treaty, and we've also heard people up there expressing their concern about what the future holds for Indigenous people, not just here in Australia but around the world, with the rise of the far right and what changing political leadership around the world means for people here in Australia. As you probably just saw, it's a sea of red, yellow and black, of course the colours of the Aboriginal flag, but there's also a lot of Palestinian flags. A lot of people who are here today say that they've come to stand in solidarity with Palestinian people. I've been chatting to people here about why they do decide to come to this event. It happens every single year and a lot of the people who come with their children. It's something of a family event. Some of those people said that they like to be surrounded by their community, fellow Indigenous people. These First Nations groups from all over the state have come to be here today. Many of them say that January 26th is a difficult day for them. It's a day that for them is a reminder of the displacement, the dispossession that started with colonisation in this country, and that this event for them is about standing in solidarity to celebrate the continued strength and survival of Indigenous culture. We had a chat a little bit earlier to the rally organiser, Paul Silver, about why he thinks this event is important and what they're trying to do here today. Let's take a listen.
The current government system is not working, not for First Nations people, but also not for non-Indigenous people. First Nations people are up on the top of the list to be targeted, but the reality of it is that, you know, we need to come together, unite and, you know, hold this system accountable and stand together and come as one.
So you've spoken to a few people there, Isabella, so could you tell us more about why people are coming to this rally today or what they've told you?
Yeah, David, what I will say is that there are plenty of non-Indigenous people here, as well as Indigenous people who've come down, who want to show their respect to Indigenous Australians and recognise the suffering that's been experienced through the colonisation of this country. There are a lot of people here who say that they come every single year, that for them this is a sense of community. And this, while many say is a sign of resistance for them, also, this will ultimately end in celebration. This rally starts here in Belmore Park, of course on Gadigal country in the middle of Sydney. We'll walk down Sydney's CBD and it will end at Yarbin, which is really a community festival for everyone. It's where music takes place. It's all about celebrating the song and ceremony of Indigenous cultures, and again, a way to celebrate the continued strength and survival of those communities. So people come down here to feel connected. For people who perhaps have mixed feelings about January 26th, what that day represents, who maybe don't feel wholly positive, they come here and it is very much about centring the Indigenous experience.